I finally got round to watching K-pop Demon Hunters, and while technically my ambition in life is to watch every single animated feature film, this one never really appealed to me. I'm not a big, well, I was going to say I'm not a big K-pop fan. I'm not a big fan of music in general. I listen to a very small selection of artists, so it never really appealed to me, but then it won the Oscar for Best Animated Feature, and I thought, okay, well, let's give it a go. So that's my perspective. So if you're coming from a similar perspective where you don't really know if it's going to be for you, but you like animations, these thoughts could be beneficial. If you're a big K-pop fan, if it already really appeals to you and you haven't seen it, I'm going to assume you're going to love it. But I would love to know what you think. Did it meet your expectations? Is the music what you expected? How did you find the characters? Your perspective will be very different to mine, and I'd love to know what you think. I went in with basically no knowledge. I knew the basic premise, and I knew that it won the Oscar for Best Animated Feature. And I have to say, having now watched it, and I will expand on these thoughts, I didn't necessarily think it was an Oscar winner. Again, if I were a big K-pop fan, I might think differently. But also, the animated films in that category were not the strongest. It definitely wasn't the biggest competition, and that's not to diminish the achievement, but I looked at the other films, and the ones that I've seen weren't necessarily Oscar-worthy. Elio is okay, and Zootropolis 2 is okay, but I don't think either of them would be Oscar-worthy. I haven't seen Arco or Little Amelie. If you recommend them, please feel free to let me know. I haven't looked to see whether they're readily available in the UK, but I can't comment on those. And the other one, the fifth one, was, of course, K-pop Demon Hunters. So out of the three that I've seen, yeah, I can see this one being the strongest. The premise is kind of straightforward. A K-pop girl band who also hunt demons and fight demons have, well, demons to fight and also personal obstacles. And we get to know the characters. They're certainly very well written, and I think they have a nice variety in their personalities. So in general, for young viewers especially, there is going to be probably at least one character with whom they can associate, somebody they can relate to. That's always really great for a film that's aimed not just at older viewers, but at children as well. And I can certainly see the appeal. It is quite a fun film. It's a very busy film, but it's not too chaotic. It didn't feel like they were throwing too much at it to mask the fact that there wasn't a strong narrative, because actually I think the story has a lot to offer. The music is very catchy. There are some quite haunting songs, which I rather enjoyed. Some of the music is quite beautiful. I can't comment on whether this is what one would expect from a K-pop themed film. Based on the ratings, I would assume so. But again, I am by no means an expert in K-pop, the furthest from it. So if you have any thoughts there, please feel free to share. But certainly I enjoyed the music. The narrative itself is good. It flows well. Great pacing. Generally quite engaging. Visually very engaging as well. The character designs are great. The colours are gorgeous. Some of them are really, really beautiful. Really great editing as well. So the film does have the whole package. It's a solid story. The characters are great. There are a lot of obstacles. I think that young viewers in particular will have elements of relatability with some of these characters. Visually stunning. Songs that I did quite like. Again, I'm not in the best position to say how good the K-pop music is, but I liked it, and obviously for me, from my perspective, that's all I was looking for. So there is really nothing about it that didn't work well, and compared with the two others that I've seen, I can see why it did win the Oscar. But again, if I had watched this months ago, it's unlikely that I would have finished the film and then thought, that's an Oscar winner. There are some animated films that I finish and just feel like it's the best experience in the world, and they're not always nominated for Oscars. So obviously it's a subjective opinion, as most opinions are, and I liked it. I enjoyed it. If, like me, you love animation, you're not really into K-pop or you don't know much about it, but you're just looking for a fun experience, absolutely go for it. It definitely has a lot to offer, and there's nothing that doesn't work. So I guess in that, maybe it is an Oscar winner. Not that there's anything really wrong with Elio. I don't think Zootropolis 2 is that great. Zootopia 2, I always forget which is the British title and which is the American title. I don't understand the reason for the different titles. I think it's really ridiculous. But yeah, that definitely for me just didn't come anywhere close to being Oscar worthy. So of the ones that I've seen, yeah, I guess I'm happy enough that this one was chosen to be the Oscar winner, but I will have to check out the other two. And for now, from my perspective, I can say K-pop Demon Hunters is a solid experience. I can understand the hype. in general, I wouldn't have said it was Oscar worthy, but I don't mind that it won. I can kind of understand why. So if you're curious, check it out. I'd love to know what you think of it. And if you're a big K-pop fan, obviously do let me know if it meets your expectations. I probably wouldn't watch it again. If they do a sequel, I don't know if they are, I haven't looked. Okay, I just checked, and surprise, surprise, there is going to be a sequel. I think it would be unheard of for a film to be very successful and for a studio to go, no, we're not going to bother with a sequel, we'll do a new story instead. Completely unheard of today. So yeah, apparently there is going to be another one. The problem there is that it's in 2029. And by that point, people have moved on. I'm not saying 3 years to create an animated film is a long time. It absolutely isn't. It's pretty standard. But the hype will have died down. And often sequels don't do as well because a lot of time has passed and people have stopped caring. Not always the case, of course, but it has to be really, really good to be even slightly as well recognised as the first film. So it has a lot of work to do, but it may be just as good. We'll see what happens. And for now, I'm pleased to say that I did enjoy K-pop Demon Hunters, and I'm certainly happy to recommend it.